8, do hereby declare April 2017 to be Monroe County Wine Month.
Thank you, everyone. I handed around some brochures to those of you age 21 and over. Please drink responsibly. Remember, every month is a good month for New York State wine, for Niagara Wine Trail wine. Please visit us for an hour, for an afternoon, for a weekend, right here launching off in Spencerport on West. I'd like to introduce Eric Gustafson of Gustafson Winery in Spencerport for brief words.
Thank you very much. We're very excited that Monroe County has recognized the wine making that takes place in all of the county. As many of you know, there's several wine trails that all converge in Monroe County. The Niagara Wine Trail starts right around the Genesee River and heads west all the way to the Niagara River. It encompasses half of Monroe, all of Orleans, and Niagara counties. My winery is headquartered in Niagara County, but a couple of years ago we opened up a second location here in Monroe County where I grew up. I grew up in Hamlin, went to the great high school Aquinas downtown. Hey, a few people here. Really excited to open up another shop here in Monroe County. And as everybody knows, things like the Hilton Apple Festival have been happening for half a century or longer, and everything from Hilton all the way to the Niagara River has been a huge fruit-growing region. And it's really been in the last few decades that we've transitioned from growing grapes for companies like Welch's and Minute Maid and places like that to producing really good quality wine grapes. Of course, we're very familiar with the Finger Lakes as being a very well-established wine region. And the Niagara Wine Trail it does a lot more than make Niagara grapes. Like they mentioned before, we do excellent Cabernets and Pinots and Chardonnays and things like that. And so we really encourage everybody to come out and visit us. Along with me is Dave Bauer, the owner of Lake Ontario Winery in Hilton. And again, I'm Eric Gustafson of Gustafson Winery, play on words there. We have a location in Spencerport and in Ransomville, which is in Niagara County. We're very, very proud of the wine that we produce in this area. I wish we could crack open a bottle and pour it for everybody here. They told us that that's a bad idea, but I really think you guys would get unanimous votes on everything if we were to do that. I guarantee it. There's no politics after the first glass. But anyway, thank you very much for once again honoring this month for Monroe County Wine Month.
Would Dr. Jeremy Cushman please come forward? Also, Monroe County Executive Cheryl Donalfo, President Anthony J. Daniele, Legislator Frank Elkoffer, and Legislator Carla Boyce. Monroe County is proud to be home to many medical professionals whose hard work, determination, and selflessness make our community a better place. Dr. Jeremy Cushman is an emergency medicine doctor with Strong Memorial Hospital. This year, he was chosen for the John P. Pryor, MD, Street Medicine Award. He also serves as the medical director for the Monroe-Livingston region and provides medical services to various different law enforcement agencies throughout Rochester. And whereas the John P. Pryor, MD, Street Medicine Award is given to a physician who has come up through the ranks as an emergency medical services provider and constantly demonstrates a sincere and ongoing dedication to the betterment of EMS through clinical excellence or educational, logistical, and/or humanitarian initiatives. This award is given in honor of John P. Pryor, MD, who served as a trauma surgeon who went above and beyond in all walks of life. He was killed December 25, 2008, while serving with the forward surgical team with the Army's 1st Medical Detachment. Dr. Cushman has also received the Gold Seal Award from Joint Fire Service of Monroe County and a Unit Commendation Award with the City of Rochester Fire Department. He also served as the interim director for Monroe County's Public Health Department in 2015. And whereas Monroe County is lucky to have a professional like Dr. Cushman, who continuously and selflessly works to better Monroe County. His passion and commitment to our community have been recognized by his patients and now nationally by his peers. We are beyond grateful to have Dr. Cushman serving our community. Now, therefore, we, Sherrill Denolfo County Executive, Anthony J. Daniele, President, Frank Elkoffer, Legislator, and Carla Boyce, Legislator, on behalf of Monroe County, do hereby recognize and congratulate Dr. Jeremy Cushman for being this year's recipient of the John P. Pryor, MD, Street Medicine Award.
Wow, thank you, President Daniele, Legislator Boyce, County Executive Denolfo, and members of the legislature, thank you. It's humbling to receive recognition fulfilling one's dream and simply doing one's job. But rather than honoring my achievements, this recognition is really reflective of our public safety community here in Monroe County. The 11 law enforcement, 26 EMS, and 39 fire departments in the City of Rochester, Monroe County governments, whom I have the privilege of working with each and every day, and who have been open to a simple dock facilitating their ability to better care for their own and those they serve. I greatly appreciate this honor and the trust that you have placed in me. Thank you again. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Would Coach Fess and the Eastridge Lancers cheerleading team please come forward? Also, Monroe County Executive Sherrill Denolfo, President Anthony J. Daniele, and Legislator Joe Carbone. Cheerleading is a sport that requires its athletes to have dedication as well as perseverance. These are two of the many skills found among the Eastridge Lancers cheerleading team. The athletics of the Eastridge Lancers cheerleading team have demonstrated tremendous ability throughout their excellent season. Led by Coach Annette Fess, who was this year's recipient of the Section 5 Coach of the Year Award, this squad worked diligently and placed first in various local cheer competitions. Following on the success of these events, these cheerleaders went on to become Section 5 champions, state champions, and finally national champions at a competition held in Virginia Beach. And whereas the Eastridge Lancers cheerleaders demonstrated incredible unity and precision during their performance at the state championship, the team placed first and notched a deduction-free performance with a perfect score of 211.6. They went on to proudly represent their school and our community at the national championship, where they were crowned on March 12, 2017. And whereas the Eastridge Lancers cheerleading team proudly represented their town, as well as our entire community, each and every team member should be proud of their memorable 2017 championship season. Monroe County is pleased to have such talented athletes here in our community. Lessons learned in athletics can often translate into success later in life, and we are confident the members of this team will continue to be model citizens for the Irondequoit community as well as Monroe County as a whole. Now, therefore, we, Sherrill Denolfo County Executive, Anthony J. Daniele, President, Dr. Joe Carbone, Vice President, and Joseph D. Morelli, Jr., Legislator District 17, on behalf of Monroe County, do hereby recognize and congratulate the Eastridge Lancers cheerleading team on a remarkable 2016-17 season.
Thank you very much on behalf of our cheerleading team. I just want to say what a special group this team has been. About this time last year is when they started the season. Believe it or not, they worked so hard in the off season with open gyms and conditioning, working on the routines and their tumbling. It all paid off as they won the Section 5 championship. And then cherry on top of the cake, they went to Syracuse, won states, and then they went on to win nationals for the second year in 3 years. So this is a very special group. We're very proud in East Irondequoit for this team, and on behalf of the community, we'd like to thank for this this recognition. Thanks.
Would Coach Vasey and the Our Lady of Mercy basketball team please come forward? Also, Monroe County Executive Cheryl D'Onofrio, President Anthony J. Daniele, Majority Leader Brian E. Marinetti, and Deputy Majority Leader Sean M. Delahanty. Basketball is a game that requires patience, perseverance, and determination. The Our Lady of Mercy Monarchs varsity basketball team showcased these three traits time and time again this season. Led by head coach Tom Vasey, the Monarchs had an amazing season with a record 21-2 while notching the Section 5 title. And whereas the Monarchs came into this season ready to defend their sectional title from the 2015-16 season, during their regular season, they picked up key victories against Bishop Kearney, Fairport, and many others, which secured their spot as the #1 seed going into sectionals. In the sectional final game, they played their rivals, Bishop Kearney. The game went into overtime, and the Monarchs notched a comeback victory to claim their second consecutive sectional title. And whereas Monroe County is proud to be the home of such talented young athletes who strive for excellence both in the classroom and on the court, our community is incredibly proud of the Our Lady of Mercy Monarchs varsity basketball team and congratulate them on another successful season. Now, therefore, we, Cheryl D'Onofrio County Executive, Anthony J. Daniele, President, Brian E. Marinetti, Majority Leader, Sean M. Delahanty, Deputy Majority Leader, on behalf of Monroe County, do hereby recognize and congratulate Our Lady of Mercy basketball team on defending their Section 5 title.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us. It's a great honor, and we're very excited that our accomplishments are being recognized within the community, and we hope to repeat what we did this year next year and the year before that. So, thank you. We appreciate it. Would Sal Jarbino please come forward? Also President Anthony J. Daniele, Legislator Frank Alcoffer, Legislator Mike Zale, and Legislator Tony Michike. Throughout the history of the Special Olympics, its success has not only been from the contributions of those who work directly for the organization, but by those individuals in the community who commit their time and energy to supporting the events and games that the Special Olympics organization holds for our community. Some individuals go above and beyond those normal volunteer activities. Sal Jarbino is one of those individuals. And whereas, when he is not serving our community through his duties as a Monroe County Sheriff's Deputy, Sal Jarbino commits countless hours towards organizing and promoting events to fundraise for the local Special Olympics organization. He has been an active volunteer for the past 31 years. And whereas, along with countless other events, Sal is directly responsible for the creation and success of Rochester's Polar Plunge. As the organizer and co-founder of this highly successful event, he has been able to help raise over $3 million to date. Sal is also the Assistant State Director and Executive Board Member of the Law Enforcement Torch Run, an international organization whose sole purpose is to raise funds and awareness for the Special Olympics. To date, the Law Enforcement Torch Run has raised over $600 million internationally for the Special Olympics. Throughout his involvement in these events, Sal has demonstrated to our community the value of volunteerism in working to improve our community.
Now therefore, we, Anthony J. Daniele, President, Frank X. Alcoffer, Legislator District 4, Mike Zale, Legislator District 20, and Tony Michike, Legislator District 26, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize Sal Gerbino for his dedication and fundraising efforts for the Special Olympics organization.
Thank you. County Executive Dinolfo, President Daniele, and members of the legislature, I'd like to thank you for taking time and effort to present me with this proclamation, with a special thanks to legislators Alcoffer, Michike, and Zale for submitting my name and background. It's humbling to be acknowledged for doing something that actually makes you feel good, but even more so when the praise is also the result of so many others who support your cause with countless hours of volunteering their time and their energy. My beautiful wife, Debbie, my children, Dina and Sal Jr., and almost all members of my very large extended family, group of friends, and law enforcement officers have worked every event to help make each one successful. This proclamation is a testimonial to all of them. Since our mission statement in the Law Enforcement Torch Run is to raise funds and awareness for the athletes of Special Olympics, I owe you a second debt of gratitude. The proclamation in this public forum will help to keep that message alive. So again, on behalf of all members of the LETR, for the more than 65,000 athletes of Special Olympics New York, I thank you.
Legislators, there are no formal committee reports scheduled for this evening. We will now hold the public forum, and we have several people registered to address the legislature. Madam Clerk?
If you require assistance, a deputy is available to assist you in approaching the lectern. I will call 3 people forward at one time. Each speaker will have 2 minutes in which to address the legislature, and kindly conclude your remarks when the timer sounds and exit through the back of the chambers. Thank you for your cooperation. Our first 3 speakers are Nathan Van Loon, Tim Worth, and Jeff Wren.
Good evening, legislators. I'm Nathan Van Loon, and one of the things that has come to my attention is that Monroe County obviously needs to save money, and it needs to come up with different and new ways to do that. And one of the things that I noticed, and I've been talking to my peers about, is whether or not it would be a good idea to have the County of Monroe take a look at the assigned counsel program and also the Conflict Defender's Office and see if some savings can be made there. Currently, under your 2017 budget, there's $3.5 million that is devoted to the assigned counsel program. And quite frankly, that turns into about 46,000 hours of attorney time. I'm not saying that the attorneys who are working aren't doing an excellent job, but as a taxpayer in this county, you have to ask yourself, is there another way to do it that would be cheaper for the taxpayers? And whether or not making an expansion in the Conflict Defender's Office would have some savings for the county. Particularly one of the things that they don't do, your Conflict Defender's Office, to my understanding, is they don't do felonies. And a big part of the expense that the county has through the assigned counsel program is that felony program. And I think that's something that should be looked at. In addition to that, there's other savings that can be had in assigned counsel for on the family court program side as well. You know, I'm one of the assigned counsel people. I'm an attorney who does assigned counsel work in family court. But there comes a point in time where you have to look at what's going on and say, we need to free up some money, and we need to see if we can reduce expenditures, and we need to look at these things legitimately. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm asking you to consider it. I'm asking you to maybe come up with some sort of committee and try and figure it out. Because if one of the complaints that we hear is that the taxes are too high or we don't have resources for social services or anything like that, then we need to figure out different ways to do it. This is my modest proposal, and I hope you listen to it. Thank you for your time and attention.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeff Wren. I am a resident of Monroe County and the City of Rochester. I'm here to speak tonight towards supporting legislation for the service-disabled veterans-owned business. The SDVLB is very important. Its designation allows people to here, let me restart. I'm here to speak in supporting of the SDVOB bill. As a service-disabled veteran myself, having served overseas, I cannot state enough how important it has been for my personal transition from the Marine Corps into the civilian working world. I was honorably discharged after 5 years of service. I have bounced from job to job, never being fired, but struggling every day with people whom don't understand much of what I bring to the table and nearly no training or anyone to address the issue. So I sought out a business that would, a veteran-owned business. Today, I work for a local small business with an SDVOB designation who understands the challenges and obstacles we as veterans face while in the workforce in everyday life. Any day at work, I have interaction with people who never served, fellow veterans who have been out less than 5 years, and veterans that have been out for over 20 years. This is what makes it such a big and valuable resource to me. My fellow workers want to help me succeed, know some of the struggles that I've been dealing with, and help all while doing excellent work. This SDVOB designation allows our small business to get a foot in the door, get jobs and contracts that otherwise might not have been acquired. Because of the program, it has more positions for people like myself to fill as part of a team again, all while being productive parts of our workforce. This legislation, if passed through Monroe County, could do the same thing for many others. Well, can get otherwise underutilized local resource up and operating at peak efficiency. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Tim Worth. I'm the newly elected president of the Monroe County Fire District Officers Association. We represent the 24 fire districts within Monroe County, as well as some other fire districts, or fire departments and municipalities inside Monroe County and outside of Monroe County. Essentially, I'm here to say hello. It's an introduction. Our organization has similar challenges as this body does. It's 24 fire districts that are governed by commissioners. 122 commissioners are publicly elected each year. One for every 5-year term. But the Monroe County District Officers Association is a 75-year organization. It also includes secretaries and treasurers for that. The reason, again, I'm here is to say hello. We've been working closely with the Monroe County Exec's Office and the Public Safety Department, but we'd also like to reach out to the legislative body as well, since the taxes and money, we have something in common with that. We do have similar fiscal challenges ahead of us, both from the state mandates, unfunded mandates, state requirements for training and equipment, as well as tax caps, et cetera. So we'd like to just work on a collaboration between our organization and the legislative body as well. If there are things that we can do from our fire districts to help the legislative body try to achieve a goal, and conversely, if there's something that we can do, we'd like to build that relationship. So with me is First Vice President Ken Bowers, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Our next three speakers are Cameron Smorno, Larry Marks, and Bridget Hurley.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Cameron Saformo. I'm a veteran, Marine Corps veteran, served in Iraq with an infantry battalion out of Camp Zoo, North Carolina. I'm here to speak on the behalf of the legislation that's presented to you guys for service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. Along with being a veteran, I'm also a business owner in this area and live within Monroe County. I employ 4 individuals as a general contractor. We've had many veterans work for us and have moved on to better pastures. And the point I guess I want to make specifically is the fact that we've had 6 or so veterans work for me personally. And each one is left on good terms. And what we've established and what we've created is almost an opportunity for these gentlemen to take a period of time in between transition, between coming out of the service and joining the workforce. This is important. It's a transition time, something that you're not awarded when you're in the service. This legislation would allow me personally and other businesses in the area to employ more veterans and more people. Allow for more of that timeline, that opportunity to transition positively back into the community and try to avoid some of the struggles that do occur in that transition period. Along with that, the legislation itself, my understanding, shouldn't cost the county any additional funds. It's basically contracts that are already awarded by the county or municipalities within the county that would otherwise go to other contractors, businesses located within the same region. So again, not costing any more money, but has large benefit to the population, the veteran population in the area, and the transition for the veterans as they continue to leave the service. I hope that you take this opportunity of me speaking, and I also my counterparts up here to really think about reviewing this and hopefully passing this legislation. Thank you so much for your evening.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Larry Marks with the Children's Agenda. As you know, 3 weeks ago, 2 hard-working parents living in poverty parked their 3 children ages 8, 6, and 1 month old on a bench at Eastview Mall while they went to work. As Bob Lonsberry said, quote, "The reality was a mom and dad with mouths to feed and rent to pay and a shift to show up for. None of this was neglect. All of this was necessary. Money had to be earned, food had to be bought, rent had to be paid. Kids need babysitters, kids need to eat. The question becomes, which do they need more? Moms and dads sometimes have to make that decision," unquote. Go on a Google search about this incident, and Monroe County made national news, just not the way any of us want to. From papers in Washington State and Tennessee to cities in Detroit and Shreveport to El Paso. The solutions to this crisis are necessarily long-term and systemic. The number of children from low-income working families receiving child care subsidies in Monroe County is half of what it used to be since 2001. Over 8,000 families are eligible and likely to accept assistance if only they could get it. So this instance, or the TGIF mom who locked her kid in a car to work another shift at the restaurant, also at Eastview a year ago, are just the tip of the iceberg of hundreds of other unreported forced trade-offs low-income working parents are making every day. Little kids skipping school to watch even littler kids, children left in unsafe and even dangerous situations. This leads directly to the 10,000 child abuse and neglect reports the county expects this year, 27 every day, 27 every day. Most of those reports are due to neglect and poverty. The way to deal with them is to reduce them by increasing prevention and by covering cases better to help prevent more horrific problems like the death of 3-year-old Brooke Stagels. The answers to dealing with Monroe County's skyrocketing crisis of child abuse and neglect is simple. Decrease demand on CPS via programs like Nurse Family Partnership, Parents as Teachers, child care subsidies, increase supply of the child care workers to reduce the caseloads down to 12 to 1. So programs like the Center for Youth Emergency Crisis Nursery help a very small number of families, and that's wonderful, but not the 8,000 in the emergency every day, year-round. The GoFundMe page for that family that got $18,659, including half from Jackson, Florida Jaguar offensive linebacker. That's 1.5 years of funding for that 1-month-old for high-quality early child care. We know the solutions here. Prevention reduces demand. Adding staff above your current level increases supply. And the children's agenda is here as a resource to you. The county administration, the majority, minority caucuses on creative ways to pay for these programs. We'll call you soon to arrange a time to meet. Our children can't wait.
Good evening. Bridget Hurley, also from the Children's Agenda. And I am here just to share some preliminary news on the New York State budget that you may or may not have heard. And particularly, of course, how the budget's going to impact kids in Monroe County and around the state. So I'll start with the bad news. There's a $7 million reduction in funding for child care subsidies from New York State. We fought this hard. At one point it was $27 million, and we got it down to $7, but still it's a reduction, and that's a big disappointment. In addition, there's a cut of funding of $62 million from the foster care block grant, which is also going to create problems here in the county, of course. So on to some better news. In the after-school arena, the governor's new $35 million Empire State after-school program was approved. So that's $35 new for after-school programs. Unfortunately, there was a $2.5 million cut in Advantage after-school programs, but still an increase. And community schools were increased in funding by $50 million, summer employment by $5 million. As you know, Raise the Age, the effort to increase the age of criminal responsibility in New York State from 16 to 18 was passed after being hotly debated in the final days, even the final hours of the New York State budget negotiations. It's hard to overstate the impact of this law on thousands of 16 and 17-year-old youth in Monroe County and across the state. It is, at its core, a major detour off the cradle-to-prison pipeline. Broadly speaking, the legislation provides that all 16 and 17-year-olds who commit misdemeanors, and most of juveniles who commit nonviolent felonies, will be diverted to family court, where they have access to services and age-appropriate programs, and where their records will be sealed. For crimes committed by a juvenile that involve a lethal weapon, a sex crime, or a significant injury, their cases will be handled by a new youth court. And this new court will be part of the regular criminal justice system, but overseen by a family court judge. All violent felony offenders, who make up now about 1% of the 20,000 juveniles charged in New York State each year, they will be treated as adults for sentencing purposes, although the court will be directed to consider the defendant's age when imposing a sentence. And finally, the law will change the rules for detention of juveniles. Beginning October 1st, 2018, offenders under age 17 will no longer be held in county jails, and a similar rule will be put in place for 18-year-olds on October 1st, 2019. So is this a perfect law? No. But as you probably have heard me or Larry say before, we never let never let the perfect be the enemy of the good. So there will be changes made, I'm sure, in the years to come. But for now, we are very grateful for the support, the education, and the second chances that this law will make available to children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our last three speakers are Steve Service, Robert Mixon, and Dan McDonald.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Stephen Service, former Army veteran. I own a small business in Rochester, commercial marketing and printing. And of course, I'm a veteran. I'm a service-disabled veteran. And today I'm asking Monroe County to adopt a similar bill that was passed some 3 to 4 years ago by Andrew Cuomo that allowed the state to set aside 6% in government contract spending so that small businesses like myself and my business can compete for the dollars that are available. This, for us in Monroe County, would be a huge opportunity. One of the things that I am trying to do as a small business owner is actually hire service-disabled veteran people as well as anyone who has a qualification. So, you know, it's not something grandeur I'm asking for. I'm just asking that the County of Monroe County just consider this legislature and pass a bill that would help a business like mine, as well as some of my colleagues that have spoken before, to compete for some of these contracts that are available. Just put us in a position where we can actually survive, because it's very, very competitive out there. And without something like this, it's just going to make it a little bit more difficult for us. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Good evening, Ms. Dinolfo, Mr. President, Danielle. I'm Robert Mixon, and thanks for the opportunity to be here and to the legislature for the opportunity to speak for a few minutes. I'm the son of a veteran. A veteran myself, had the privilege of wearing this Army uniform for 33 years, and I'm the father of 3 active duty soldiers on duty on point for the nation as we speak. The service-disabled, veteran-owned business opportunity is really that of leveling the playing field. I'm not here to talk about my leadership company, but having spent 10 years now in Monroe County as a homeowner and a taxpayer and a small business owner, I will tell you that we do need to level the playing field. The national government has done it. The state government has done it. The opportunity is there for Monroe County to do the same. And in creating that level playing field, you simply create jobs for more veterans, because we all seek to hire veterans because we share that quality of duty, honor, and country, and service to a standard above ourselves. So I would encourage you to really get behind this opportunity to support the men and women who have done so much for this nation to have the ability to be free and speak together tonight. Thanks very much.
Hello once again. My name is Dan McDonald. As you know, I am a veteran-owned business here, as well as the father of veterans and a future veteran. My beautiful daughter, who is an Army veteran right now, is here with us tonight, and my son, who's leaving in August in the Marine Corps. I personally want to thank the legislatures that have called me since our last meeting. It shows that we are making real support. We are receiving real support and making progress. I'd also like to thank Mr. Ken Williams, who is a service director, or the director of the Service-Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business up in Albany for OGS. He's here with us tonight to answer any questions any of you may have as well. So I want to thank him for driving out here all the way from Albany tonight. As you all know, we've been speaking here in regards to this matter since the past summer, and I think it is very clear that we as veterans have never backed down from a fight. We're still here, and we're not going to back down from this one. The best way to make us go away is to just get this done. The number of cities, towns, and counties that are adopting this is growing, and it will continue to grow. As a lifelong resident of Monroe County, I would hate to think that my own home county that is supposed to be veteran-friendly will be dead last in this option. At this point in time, I'd like to ask all my fellow veterans to please stand. As you look around, you will see these men and women, just like yourselves, took an oath. And I realize that there is always a risk in every new piece of legislation. But I ask you legislatures right now, do you think the oath that you took to be in office is any greater than the oath that these men and women took to be called a veteran? If you do believe that that risk is greater, I'd like you to look them now in the face and explain to them why that risk is greater. Like I have said here in this very room many times before, show them the courage that they have so honorably showed you. This is long overdue. So many of our returning veterans have many issues that are not always understood unless you have stood in that same pair of boots. What I mean by that is we will take care of our own as we have always done in the past,
and we are not asking for a freebie, just to show what we can do and how well we can do it. So please show your support to those who have supported you. Lastly, to my fellow veterans, you know what mission lies ahead of us. Let's show that we will not stand down until this mission is complete. Thank you.
This concludes the public forum.
We will now proceed with the consideration of motions, resolutions, and notices. Majority Leader Marinetti.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to make a motion to move agenda items number 1 through 31 and further move that they be considered through one vote of this body.
So I have a motion to move items number 1 through 31, moved by Legislator Marinetti, seconded by Legislator Cayley. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Items 1 through 31 carry. Madam Clerk.
Item number 32, referral 17-0119.
Moved by Legislator Boyce, seconded by Legislator Draw. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. There being no further business, Legislator Marinetti.
Thank you, Mr. President. We stand adjourned until 6 p.m. Tuesday, May 9th, 2017.
Thank you.